Why consistency feels impossible early on. Have you ever had a fantastic trading day, followed immediately by a terrible one, and just thought, why can't I be consistent? If so, this is for you. One day, everything feels crystal clear. You're patient, you follow your rules, you feel calm. You walk away thinking, okay, maybe I'm finally getting this. Then, the very next session, it's like none of that stuck. You hesitate, you rush, you overtrade, you break rules you know you shouldn't break. And by the end of the day, you're left wondering what in the heck is wrong with me. You start asking yourself questions like, why am I so inconsistent? Why can't I just trade the same way every single day? If I know what to do, why can't I do it reliably? Here's the truth most traders never hear early enough. You're not inconsistent. You're unfinished. Consistency isn't a personality trait. It's not something you either have or you don't have. It's a stage of development. And early on, that stage simply hasn't been built yet. Most traders enter the markets with the exact same expectation. Once they learn the strategy, once they understand the setups, the results should just smooth out. You think improvement will look like a straight line. Learn more, trade better, become consistent. But trading just doesn't work that way. Because trading is not a skill you perform once. It's a skill you perform under pressure, repeatedly, with completely uncertain outcomes. And early on, that pressure just overwhelms your behavior. What makes consistency feel so impossible isn't a lack of knowledge. It's the emotional load you're carrying while trying to execute that knowledge. Most traders mistake consistency for outcome stability. They think consistency means green days show up regularly. In reality, consistency means something much less exciting, but far more important. Your behavior stays stable, even when your outcomes don't. Early in your trading journey, outcomes fluctuate wildly. Not because you're bad, but because you're still learning how to behave under stress. The market gives uneven feedback. You can do everything right and still lose. You can do several things wrong and still win. That randomness completely confuses the brain. The brain wants a clear cause and effect. I did this, so I got that. But trading doesn't offer that clean relationship. So early on, when your results swing back and forth, your brain tries to fix the inconsistency, not by stabilizing your behavior, but by changing your approach. You tweak your rules. You adjust your position size. You switch strategies. You overcorrect. And every single time you do that, you reset the entire learning process. This is one of the biggest reasons consistency feels so far away in the beginning. Because consistency isn't built by constantly changing what you do. It's built by repeating the same behaviors long enough for them to become automatic. And that's where the real mechanism lives. Knowing the rules is easy. Following them under emotional pressure is not. Early on, every decision costs you mental energy. Every trade feels massively important. Every outcome feels personal. Fear shows up. Boredom shows up. Urgency shows up. Hope shows up. And when your emotions are loud, your behavior becomes unstable. You might follow your rules perfectly one day because conditions were favorable. The market was clean. Your emotions were calm. Nothing challenged you. Then the next day, a small loss hits early, or the market is slow, or volatility spikes, and suddenly you're in a completely different internal environment. Same strategy, different emotional state, different behavior. That's not inconsistency. That's untrained emotional execution. Consistency only appears once your behavior becomes your default response, not something you have to consciously force yourself to do. Think about it like this. Early on, every trade decision is manual. You're thinking through every single thing. You're reminding yourself of your rules. You're negotiating with your impulses. That's exhausting. Over time, if you don't keep changing the system, that behavior becomes automated. You stop debating. You stop negotiating. You just do what you do. That automation is what consistency actually is, and you can't shortcut it. One of the biggest consistency killers is what traders do after they experience pain. After a losing day, many traders just assume something is fundamentally wrong. They don't interpret losses as simple variance. They interpret them as evidence of failure. So they change something. They adjust their entries. They tweak their stops. They abandon their rules. They chase a new idea. The same thing happens after winning days. A few wins in a row create confidence. That confidence turns into looseness. That looseness turns into rule breaking. So your behavior changes all over again. What looks like inconsistency is actually just constant adaptation to your emotions. The trader's lack of stability is because their emotional environment is not stable and is missing guardrails. Professional traders understand this. They don't expect smooth outcomes. They expect variance. They don't measure their days by profit. They measure their days by containment. Did today stay inside the rules? Did I behave the way I intended to? Did I avoid major damage? Early traders measure their days by feeling, or worse, profits and losses. Pros measure their days by structure. That's the difference. A professional doesn't really care if today was green or red. They care if today looked like yesterday behaviorally. Same process. Same limits. Same decision-making standards. That repetition is what actually compounds. If you're early in your journey and consistency feels impossible, it's often because you're trying to feel consistent instead of build consistency. Consistency isn't a feeling, it's a byproduct, and it's built through boring repetition. Now let's talk about what actually helps. The fix is not more strategies. It's not more indicators. It's not more screen time. The fix is building a simple operating system that limits how much emotional damage you can do on any given day. This is where consistency is born. Define very clear A+ conditions. Not vague ideas, specific, concrete conditions where you are allowed to trade. Define very clear no-trade conditions. Times, volatility states, or emotional states where trading is completely off limits. Set hard stop times. Set trade limits. Set maximum damage rules for the day. These aren't restrictions. They're training wheels. They reduce the number of decisions you have to make while you're still learning how to behave under pressure. Consistency isn't built by freedom. It's built by constraints. If this is hitting home for you, pause for a second. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. What breaks your consistency most right now? Is it fear, boredom, or revenge trading? People really do read these comments, and sharing your experience helps others recognize their own patterns. Now here's the most important reframe you can make. Early inconsistency is not failure. It's feedback. It tells you exactly where your emotional weak points are. Maybe boredom breaks you. Maybe early losses break you. Maybe even winning breaks you. Maybe volatility breaks you. Those aren't character flaws. They are training signals. Consistency doesn't mean eliminating those emotions. It means learning how to behave despite them. And that only happens through repetition inside a stable structure. You don't build consistency by chasing perfect days. That's when consistency suddenly feels possible, not because you became special. So if consistency feels impossible right now, stop asking what's wrong with you. Ask this instead: is my behavior stable enough to be consistent yet? If the answer is no, that's okay. That just means you're still building. Repeat your behavior. Reduce deviation. Contain the damage. That's how consistency is earned. That's the hidden edge. If this episode helped you, throw us a like, subscribe for more content just like this, and comment below with one rule you're committing to follow this week.